Hi everyone, I'm Kirsten with Kalita's Coffee, and in this video we're going to be talking about changing it up a bit at home with maybe swapping out your automatic brewer like this one for maybe a hand brewer like the Kalita 185. This brewer is an excellent intro into the world of hand brewing, so it's super easy, it's very forgiving, and it gives you a really sweet and balanced brew. Additionally, we'll be taking a little deep dive into the part of the brewing process known as the bloom. So we'll go about that in just a little, and let's go ahead and get started. As always, thank you so much for tuning into our YouTube channel. We're going to be adding more and more content on here, so if you'd like to follow along, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button below, and make sure to turn on that notification bell too so you know when we drop a new video. All right, so why should you maybe switch away from a cheaper automatic brewer and maybe try the Kalita? So let's try a pot here. I have everything dosed out, I got the water ready to go, and we're gonna be using a 1:16 ratio. So let's go ahead and try that out, and today we're gonna be featuring our 700 blend. Cool, so it's not bad. It's what I would expect from this type of brewer. There is a little bit of astringency and a little bit of bitterness. So when I think of our 700, I think of a more balanced blend, but also just a sweeter cup. So let's go ahead and look at the coffee bed here. Ooh, yep. So it looks like there was some more extraction right in the center, didn't really extract all the way. And what we're looking for is a nice, even extraction. So now hand brewing is gonna give us more complete control over these variables like ground saturation, our bloom time, which we're gonna talk about just in a little bit, our actual brew time, and even our water temperature, which is super important. So hand brewing is also a great way to get a better understanding of how water extracts flavor from coffee and how we can use or change some variables to achieve the best tasting cup, which I'm all about. So there's a lot to learn from making the switch, which we're gonna kind of walk you through the process so you feel really comfortable making that transition. So it's worth mentioning too that the Kalita has some unique build characteristics. So some other brewers will not have a flat bottom, such as the Kalita 185, which we're gonna use that to have a more even bed for extraction, as well as the 3 holes that are at the bottom that restrict the flow of water through the dripper. So this gives us more time for the water to be in contact with our coffee, which is gonna extract more flavor. And you can see that it's stainless steel, which is very durable and easy to clean. Plus it's small enough, you can just like put it in your purse, you can put it in your suitcase, just throw it in your bag if you're going camping or on vacay mode. But also you can put it on your favorite mug and you can actually brew it on top of that if you want. Before we get to the brew, let's quickly talk about our ratio, our grind size, our water temp, and the importance of the bloom. So we're gonna be using a 1:16 ratio today. So that's 1 gram of coffee for every 16 milliliters of water. So you can experiment with this part if you'd like by using a 1:15 or a 1:14 ratio for a stronger cup. But if that's a little too strong, you can shoot for a 1:17 or a 1:18 ratio. So we're looking to get about 320 milliliters of bean water, AKA coffee. So we're gonna take that divided by 16 from our ratio that we just talked about, which will give us a grand total of 20 grams. So we're gonna go ahead and weigh that out for this brew. Okay, so we're going to grind this on a medium grind setting. You can and you should experiment with your grind setting as well, just to see what a finer grind or maybe a more coarser grind tastes like. So if you're at the grocery store, you can go ahead and buy pre-ground drip coffee, or just make sure to get that ground up for drip. So I'm gonna go grind this and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna be using a darker roast or more developed coffee today. So we want our water temperature to be between 190 and 200 degrees. Coffee with a darker roast profile extracts more quickly in hot water than a lighter roasted coffee. So having that lower water temperature will compensate and give us a better extraction. If you're using a lighter roast, then go ahead and shoot for that 195 to 200 degrees. To the bloom! So what the heck is the bloom? There's so much out there about blooming. How much water, how long, how much CO2 gas affects flavor, how roast levels affect your bloom. how fresh your coffee is, and so on, and dot, 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 dot. But this is what we know and how the bloom will serve us today. Coffee beans will have CO2 gas built up inside from the roasting process. Once we start grinding and begin pouring water on those grounds, the CO2 will be released and show up in tiny gas bubbles or pockets of air in our bed. And that's not good because that means that our water is not coming into full contact with our grounds from the start. So we're gonna be pouring a little bit of water on our grounds, stir it to completely saturate everything, and sit there and let it release all that gas, that CO2. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of talking, so let's just get down to business, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to make a Kalita 185. You need a Kalita 185. You need a decanter, some filters, a little over about 20 grams of ground coffee, a thermometer if you have one, a kettle, preferably that gooseneck that we talked about, a scale, and a timer. Okay, let's get started. So we're gonna grab our Kalita filter, and the first thing that we're gonna do is make sure that we pre-rinse the filter to make sure we get rid of all the paper taste, but also just to always preheat our brewing system and our decanter. And then we're gonna dump that water right out. All right, so we have 20 grams that we're gonna put into our filter. And just shake that flat so that you have an even extraction. And we're gonna start the bloom. Have your timer ready and go ahead and start. And you wanna just quickly get all the grounds saturated. Go ahead and stop. Once you're about ×2 of what you put into your brew, and just let it start blooming. So you see all the gases are starting to erupt, it's really alive, and all that CO2 is coming out. So this is exactly what we want it to look like. We're gonna wait about 45 seconds, and then we'll go ahead and finish up with 320 grams total of water. All right, so I like to do just a continuous pour, and you're really not focusing on any specific area. I try to just swirl in and swirl out so that you have a very even extraction. And you should see a very even color on top as you're brewing. So we're quickly approaching 320, and we're good. So for your extraction time, when you have a darker roast, we're looking at about 2 minutes to about 2:45, and then for your lighter roasted coffees or maybe a single origin, you wanna have that extraction stop around 2:30 and about 3 minutes. Okay, so we're done brewing. Let's go ahead and swirl this up and then have a taste. Well, I guess I'll have a taste because you can only, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. Oh, we got some old coffee in here. Let's get rid of that. Ooh, yes, so this is great. It has that sweetness, it has that body, really nice balance. It's not too acidic and not a ton of bitterness. So this is exactly what we're looking for, and I'm just really excited for you guys to try this. So while popping some quality grounds and hot water into an automatic brewer is super convenient, it still makes a really good cup of coffee. Doing a pour over like the Kalita will really take that cup of coffee to the next level and really provides a great base to learning more about coffee and extraction if you're looking to become like a nerd like us. So please comment below and let us know, how did this recipe turn out? What was your favorite ratio to use? Any videos you would like us to do in the future? We're gonna throw some links in the description below for the coffee we use, as well as a link to our blog about the Kalita 155, which is a smaller version of what we use today. So thanks for watching, happy brewing, and join us again next time. Thanks so much, see you later.